When I moved to the Middle East to be a missionary, it wasn't long after I moved there, maybe a month. And there was probably just a moment of time there where I was teetering on whether to go back home or not. And the good news is we'd sold everything, so I had nothing to go back to. But see, the enemy was trying to wiggle things in my mind. And did God really say to you, take your family and move, sell everything and move? Did He really say that to you? I can tell you He actually did. I used to go riding my motorcycle in South Carolina on Sunday mornings, and I would just ride for an hour before anybody else got up. I would go and I'd ride and I'd pray. I'd ride and I'd pray. And then I'd come home and I'd make breakfast for my family and we'd go to church. But it got to the point where Jennifer said, I don't want to hear it anymore, because every time you come home from a motorcycle ride, God's telling us to do something harder. She's like, please don't tell me anything else. But I'm telling you right now, God was at work, right? But I also know the enemy was at work. Did God really say that? Satan's creating doubt in Eve's mind. Look what happens in verses 2 and 3. And the woman said to the serpent, we may eat of the fruit of this tree in the garden. But God said, you shall not eat of the fruit of the tree that is in the midst of the garden, neither shall you touch it, lest you die. So God has clearly instructed Adam and Eve, as He has instructed us, that we must dig into the truth of His Word. Like, Adam and Eve, this is what I'm telling you, and this is what I mean. Like He's given it to them. God clearly has instructed them. But look what happened in verse 4 and 5. But the serpent said to the woman, you will not surely die. For God knows that when you eat of it, your eyes will be open and you will be like God, knowing good and evil. What's happening here? Satan, the father of lies, is actually accusing God of being the one deceiving. And in the process, he deceives Eve. What is he doing? He's using a partial truth. He knows, God knows that if you eat of it, your eyes will be open. That's the truth. That was the truth, because we look a little bit later on after they eat it, their eyes were open and they realized they were naked. They wouldn't have known that otherwise. So Satan was using a partial truth, and he does that in our lives sometimes. We've got to be very careful with this, church.